Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, as you can see, today I got a cool little toy drone to take a look at today. This is a SIMREX X800. Now, this is meant to look like the little, like the original DJI mini type drone, but it's just a toy drone with brushed motors. It looks a lot like those E88, E99 drones you see all over like AliExpress and Temu. It's similar to that, but I think it has different lights. And it might be a bit different. It says it's got brushed motors, very, very lightweight. It does appear that it has, I don't know how well it shows up my head cam here, I'll try to get into some sunlight there, a optical flow camera, it looks like. And oddly enough, I can find no information in the instruction manual or the box that mentions anything about optical flow camera. So if I remember, we'll try to see if that seems like that works. That'd be a cool little extra to have on the drone that doesn't actually advertise these features. Now the controller, pretty small, but it looks pretty decent. You got your auto takeoff and landing. This looks like your headless mode, your speed rates, your 3D flips. Real basic for this. Here is the box. So the drone's upside down there. SIMREX X800. You get your USB charging cable. You get two of the batteries. I'll show you the battery. It uses a barrel connector to charge these little batteries. So you have to plug the barrel connector into right in the back here, and then make sure you get it in all the way, and then it charges up. And this is, of course, a 1S LiPo at 1,000 milliamp hour. So it's a decent capacity. And you get a phone clip holder. I'm not gonna fly with the phone clip on today. I'm gonna use the app and I'm gonna record, but I'm just gonna fly right here. I don't need FPV feed to do that. You get some prop guards, which you can put those on if you want to fly, especially indoors. I'm not gonna mess with those either. And of course you get some extra props in case you would bust one, and a Phillips screwdriver for attaching those. Pretty basic of what you get with this. Now the app that we're gonna use with this, I wanna make sure, I'm gonna check my phone here to make sure that I use the right name. I know it's a SIMREX Zoomy is the app. I'll put a screenshot up there. That's the FPV app you're going to use. You'll connect to the Wi-Fi feed, and then you can, at that point, you'll be able to open the app and see the feed. To calibrate the gyro on this drone, and I'll show you when we fire it up, it's both sticks down and to the left on the controller. So you're just going to take both sticks down and to the left for 3 seconds. It'll beep. Lights will probably flash at a drone. So it's a good idea to do that before your first flight. So let me get the Wi-Fi connected to the drone, and we'll get up in the air here and fly it around in the backyard. So one moment. All right, guys, I got the drone connected down here. Here is the feed on the app. Of course, it's when I move the drone, you should see it move. I had some trouble with this app. The first time I connected to it, the feed came up. I could not get it to do it again until I reinstalled the app. It would just sit there and spin. Even if I killed out the app, turned off everything, I couldn't get it to work. So do keep that in mind. But we'll go ahead and we'll take off from the top here. This is a pretty flat surface, and we'll fly this around here. We're gonna probably need to go up into the higher speed rates. There's 3 speed rates because there is a bit of a breeze that's coming right into my face. So let's do that gyro calibration. Just both sticks down to the left. Let's start recording some video. I got some video recording on the app, and let's go ahead and try to see. Will the auto takeoff work without unlocking the props? Yeah, real quick. I think to unlock the props, it's both sticks up and out is what I did to do that. That's the highest rate. A little bouncy, but it's doing pretty good. I want to think that optical flow may be working. Let's back it up here and see if it follows my hand. Well, let's get it a little closer. It's not easy to do that. And it does seem like, let's move it to the left. Yeah. So it has optical flow position hold. That's why it's holding position so well. And I don't know why they don't advertise that. At least on the box and instructions, I couldn't find it. But it could be on the Amazon listing. That's where you can pick this up. So there'll be a purchase link down in the video description and the pinned comment. If you're interested in this, it'll be an affiliate link, but that does help out the channel, and it doesn't cost you an extra cent to use it. Nice yaw. We'll go into the wind. Now you can see it's fight even in the highest rate here. on full pitch, and now it's going. So there's a bit of a wind. This is so light, it's still struggling. So I was going to keep it close. It's not a lot of wind. This is just a very lightweight drone. If you can get it over here and I get it down closer, I should be able to get a bit sheltered here, and I can show you guys the, there's the lowest rate, there's the middle rate, and then of course here is the higher rate. The yaw's faster. The app's still working, that's good. You always wonder, sometimes these apps can be unstable. Let's do some flips here while we get the battery power. Yeah, these always flip good. And it flips forward and sideways. Not every drone does it. Some only do roll flips and not forward or pitch flips, you know, forward and back. Yeah, pretty much what I expect. I'm gonna take it lower here. That's one trick you can do, especially like this with the fence here. I get down lower, the fence is blocking that wind, and I can do that to be able to fly forward. But yeah, there's not a lot of wind. It's supposed to be 6 to 10 miles per hour today. At times it's probably around 8. Right now it's very calm. And this little drone will struggle with brushed motors and 1S LiPo. So keep in mind, you want to fly it on a day where it is very, very calm. And fly underneath the slide, should be able to. Now, the easiest way to do is just throttle up, turn around and come this way. Get those green LEDs in the front and a blue LED in the rear. This would make a great present for Christmas coming up for a kid that wants a drone. They want to learn how to fly a drone, but you obviously don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on an expensive one. Of course, DJI drones by Christmas will probably be pretty much banned in the US if you're here in the US, but there's still, more expensive drones some of the other manufacturers like Holy Stone and Potensic and them have, like the Atom 2 is a great drone. All those are going to be, hundreds of dollars, or if you can get a DJI. But sometimes you just want to see, is a kid really going to play with it? They might get bored of the drone, which I don't know why they would. And then no sense to spend a lot of money. Get them something like this. Also, the good thing about a drone like this is it teaches them how to actually fly. The GPS drones have become so good that it's easy to just rely on them to do most of the flying. You just kind of point the sticks where to go and it'll hover, and you don't have to worry about it flying off or get blown away. And of course they have great cameras and all kinds of smart features, but you don't really know how to fly. I mean, you see many people that are GPS drone flyers that couldn't begin to fly a toy because they're not used to having to put forward the thought of constantly making adjustments, So that's not a knock against them. It's just that that's all they fly, and they don't have to know how. Now they'd be able to figure it out because the controls are the same, but just having to constantly make adjustments because it's not holding position would be the biggest challenge. Also, that if you want it to come back and land, you got to fly it back. GPS drone, if you get out of ways and you don't want to fly it back, you can just hit the return to home button. No, those drones have good FPV feeds, and you can use that to navigate your way back as well. But a drone like this, you got to know orientation. And that's where, whenever you're facing towards you, your controls are going to be reversed compared to when you're facing away. So that's something that somebody who's a beginner will learn that, and that's going to be so helpful in case they had a GPS drone and say something, malfunctioned and you lost your GPS signal, let's say, and you need to manually fly it in and it gets closer to you where you're going to take over by line of sight. You're going to need to know how to fly this drone and land it. So these are inexpensive drones, and this flies really good. They've gotten really good with these drones. The flight controllers, everything works really well for a toy grade drone. But yeah, this is full throttle into the wind, and then it goes a bit whenever the wind lets up. We still got video going. When we end the video, it's always a good idea to make sure you stop the video before you power off the drone, otherwise you'll probably lose the video saved. Now another thing is SIMREX on the box says this is 1080p photos and videos, and at least according to the app on my phone, it's actually 720p. So I'm going to definitely let them know that whoever made their product listing appears to have double the resolution. It's 720p is pretty common for these, so that is actually not accurate. And I like to let them know that, you know, the optical flow is something that at the very least, if it's not on the Amazon listing, they need to let people know that. That's an important selling point, that it can hold position. You know, now optical flow, if you're up too high, it won't work, or if you're too close. But if you're up, you know, like this, you know, and even almost head height, you know, I'm 6 feet tall, you can see, look at that. Now, a strong gust of wind is going to blow it, and it's going to have trouble fighting back at that because it's brushed motors, but it is definitely has the ability to hold position, and that's something that I couldn't find anywhere on the product listing, at least on the box, I should say. So we'll let them know about that in the video. Oh, almost flew in my face. Let them know about the resolution of the video. But honestly, getting optical flow as a bonus is actually not a bad thing. It's just that's a good thing. It's just that they're selling, you know, they should let people know that because you're getting more than you think for the money. The 720p to 1080p to me, that's kind of like not a big deal. Let's see, can we still do a flip? Yeah, so we still got decent battery. The flips will disable when the battery gets low, but it'd be nice if they had that in the listing about knowing that stuff. But again, the video, I mean, 720p, 1080p, that's, you know, these toy drones, you're not going to tell a difference. The cameras are toy grade. There's no stabilization on the video. You'd have to try to run it through software to do that, and it's just not going to look good. You can get some photos, that's a little bit better, but it's just, you know, the camera's just for a kid to be able to see what they're doing, and FPV feeds. So that's really not a big deal to me, though it still needs to be accurate. But I'm most concerned about the app. You know, why did the app work for me the first time? And no matter if I killed out the app, excuse me, or if I you know, disabled the Wi-Fi, I turned it back on. Everything I did, my phone would connect to the Wi-Fi, and then the app would not load any video feed. But reinstalling it fixed it, so maybe it's okay now. That kind of stuff can happen with these apps. So if you happen to get this drone and you go back out and you can't get the feed to work, just uninstall the app, reinstall it. I'm on a Samsung, new, not the newest, but an S24, so it's a newer phone. All right, we got some flashing lights. That means we're getting close to the low voltage cutoff. If I were to do try to do flips, you'll see it won't do them. All right, just getting really close there. And let's see if we can fly it over here, and whoa, it's gonna land back there. I was going to try to land it here, but as it loses power, it auto lands. As you saw how quickly it takes off, it auto lands really quick too, so keep that in mind. But overall, this is not a bad little drone. It flies good, looks pretty cool, and it works good, and it has some extra features they don't advertise. My only concern, like I said, is making sure that that app loads your feed. Though honestly, for someone like me, I'm not going to even use that app ever. I'm just going to fly this for fun, line of sight. But you still need to get what you pay for. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, you like content like this, RC stuff, drones, cars, or RC cars, boats, sometimes real cars and tech stuff, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell. That way you're notified when I do upload new videos. And as always, guys, have an awesome day.